Hello, it's Monday. And it's one of those days where I was inclined to not make a video. It's almost 10 o'clock. And I said, well, let me just go ahead and say hello and cheers. I know it's completely up to me whether or not to make a video. But I think about people, and it wouldn't be a big deal if I didn't make a video, would it? I know some people say that they very much look forward to the daily videos. And I appreciate that. At the same time, sometimes it's like I just, don't really feel like it. But I went ahead. I'm here saying hello, hoping you're okay. It's a Monday. How was your weekend? I had a good weekend. I didn't go to the film festival. My friend Jordan Noel stopped by yesterday. He was in town from Nashville. I met him when he was still living in Athens. And we talked, and that was 9 years ago that I visited him in Athens. Where does the time go? Anyway, I didn't go to his screening. I didn't really want to see his film, and I'm glad I can be honest with people. I told him I'm more interested in working on film than watching them. But I wish him all the best. Jordan Noel. Guacamole Yesterdays is the name of the film. It's an independent, sort of sci-fi film. But it was one of those psychological thrillers, and it's like, I don't care about this. We had a really good visit because, again, we're connected as people. And so that mutual respect was there. I forgot to take a picture of him. I was a highlight from my weekend. I stayed out of the record stores. I'm happy to have saved the money. I had a social weekend. I guess this is why I was thinking I really didn't feel like making a video because nothing is like, so I'll just recap. So my other friend Nick, not the one with the baby, but my other younger friend Nick came by because he is going through a slump. And I'm glad that he came by so that I could remind him this is nothing new. He's very depressed. But we cycle. Depression is, if it's not situational, if it's clinical depression, then you're dealing with cycles. And I remember before I learned about this, how my cycle of depression would drive me to suicide attempts, 3 of them, and how I just hated how I felt, but nothing was wrong. So I was so glad when I learned about the electrical imbalance and chemical imbalance that happens in the body, and how it's related to the seasons, to the moon, to tides, all that stuff. So I was happy to be able to tell me, you just got to ride this out. You're really feeling sorry for yourself. And it's like, nothing's wrong except this quagmire of thought that, you're trapped in. It'll pass. When I have these conversations, though, with my friends, they help me. And that's the thing that I always share with people. I said, if you ain't getting nothing out of this, it's sure helping me. It's reminding me, how to stay on track. Something else that's been happening, and please don't take it personally if you happen to see this and you think I'm talking about you. I'm not. I'm talking in general. But unsurprisingly, there's been an uptick in people coming out of the woodwork asking for favors as a result of seeing what I've been doing lately with well-known people. I'm not a conduit, and I don't like to play that game where it's like, when it comes to music and music collaboration, that's different. That I can perhaps be helpful with. But I've had other people coming out of the woodwork with stuff, can you hook me up? And that's basically what it is. And it's like, well, I don't do that. I'm not a naked opportunist. You see that somebody's got something going on and you want to take advantage of it. I'm not into that. Just dealt with one this morning, an email from someone. I barely remembered the person. Again, if you watch this, don't be offended because you're not the only one. And some folks, it's like, I don't even know who this is. So the other thing is I rented Moon Age Daydream, the Bowie film. I'm glad I didn't bother to go see it in the theaters. I'm just about done watching it. It's like a big glass of empty. There's some footage that has never been seen before, but it's so late in the game for me now that it's like I don't care about this like I would have if I were a kid when we really deserved to see all this stuff. The short blips of Jeff Beck on stage with Bowie. I'm seeing that for the first time in that. I don't know if it's been bootlegged online before, but that's the first time I saw that. That was cool. But overall, I was unimpressed with the content of the movie. Visually, all the color and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, that's cool. That's about it. Musically, I farted around a little bit in the studio. That's what I also talked to Jordan about that, about how ultimately, even though I'm always trying to sell my music to you, ultimately what I'm doing by making music is amusing myself. It is for me, number one. And Jordan, as a filmmaker, said, I think it's probably true for most people. It's definitely true for him. He's a former musician. I've got some of his music on the shelf up here. I forget the name of the project. Pretty avant-garde. But it's like, I can't make, I'll speak for him too, we cannot make our art for the audience. That is not a motivator for me. So I just farted around. Nothing new is happening. Nothing to really speak of. A few things that got played with this. So I did turn Jordan on to Moor Mother because, again, we talked about music. He's a big music head. He was the person that turned me on to Borin de Club de Boer, or however you say it. He turned me on to them. He's got an amazing collection. But we were talking about music and he mentioned Yusuf Days and Micaiah McCraven. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, I like those guys. Do you know about Moor Mother? And he said, no. And that's what I went like this. Okay, let's get some Moor Mother. So we started by showing him some video. Her videos are excellent, very cutting edge. And it was just, and Duma, the African band that I've been talking about that's really, again, on the edge. Noise, very noisy, very edgy. So those are the two artists that I turned him on to. And, of course, he was like, whoa, yeah. And then after that, I listened to Jazz Codes all the way through, plus another of her albums. Is it in here? Might still be sitting in the other room. It is. So I played some music out in the living room. This is unapologetically black. And the thing that I really pick up on about Moor Mother is how she is channeling our ancestors. She speaks for our people. It's like she's tapped into the cellular memory that black people have of slavery and things like that. And she expresses it really strongly and really well. It's very strong, and no wonder she's not more popular because people don't want to hear it. People don't want to be reminded. They don't. She's badass. I was really happy to share that with Jordan. Played the second side of this, a recent purchase. David Behrman, Music with Memory. This is deep listening type of music, which is, he explains for each piece what's going on. Nothing complex. So the idea is to surrender to the idea and see where it takes you. And when you do that, wonderful things happen with this kind of music. Circling 6 on here is a deal where he has some loops of electronics going with soprano saxophone. It's wonderful. You just let it go, and after a while, it takes a life on. Last thing I played, other than playing in my studio, was this recent Hot Chip album, which I took a long time to buy because my initial impression was not good. Freakout release. The first video I saw from this was real, obviously very commercial, very much aimed at trying to appeal to the dance audience, which they have, but in a bigger way, trying to, keep the sales going. And so I kind of thought, oh, I don't know. But I've seen Hot Chip twice, and I have most of their records. And they have that extra something that I like, where it's kind of psychedelic and hippie trippy. And it's not just dance floor. It's not just kissing Prince's ass, as far as being fans. Those elements are on all their other records, and it's here too. This is more commercial. I don't think it's going to break out for them, but it's good. But the quality of their writing and the way that they put beats together is still there. I like Hot Chip quite a bit. The other thing that I played all the way through, because I realized that there's a couple songs on here towards the end where I never got all the way through them. Opeth. A Ghost Reveries. I played the CD. I have it on vinyl. The growling vocals, it's like I have to get in the mood because I never cared for the growling vocals. It's their songwriting and their guitar work that I absolutely love. And I've learned back years ago when I first got this, I learned a lot of this album because it's like, this is just cool. This guitar work is fantastic. I feel it. And as I listened yesterday, the songs that I really like on here still hit me hard. They're good. It's not just adolescent. This is good music. Opeth. I've missed seeing them twice when they came to Omaha. Both times the second time they came, I had a gig. I couldn't go. The time before, I learned too late. I think I found out the day after. I was like, what? How did I not know? So that's a Monday morning for you. Only other thing I can say is that when I look at the news, I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed at how there is no justice. And if you have money, then you can do whatever you want. That's the message I'm getting from the events of the world, is that the rich and the powerful can do whatever the holy fuck they want. There is no justice. And we all suffer as a result. That's what pisses me. That's what pisses me off about when I look at the events in the news. There's no leadership. I was talking about that with Jordan because he has 2 daughters. And I met his first daughter, Letty, when I was down there. She's 11 now. She was just a toddler. And I was asking him about his girls because they're in, 11 and 7 now. And sure enough, a big concern for him as a parent is phones. His oldest daughter doesn't have a phone with internet, and it's a phone so that for emergencies, no internet. I so agree with him. And part of what came up in the conversation was how part of the problem that I see real clearly that it seems like many people don't see is how the lack of mature Objective leadership and adult behavior, we don't see it like when I was a kid. I was talking to my friend Nick about this, who is half my age, and even he can see in his lifetime the way things have broken down, how it's become real obvious. Like in politics, it's a power game. They're not serving the people. That's lip service. And I was talking to Joel. We were Jordan about how the fallout from this on society and our children and their behavior, is not good. But that's the way it is. Anyway, that's what I have to share this morning. Hope you have a good day. Heard from my sister this weekend. She's working her butt up on her new job. I think she likes it, but it's like she's working, so you don't hear from her. Main thing I want is for people to be happy and okay. Take care.